This is the Africa Twin Honda CRF 1100 at Bridge Motorcycles. Let's give it a go. So I have this one in the low position, and my feet are 95% flat on the floor, believe it or not. I'm 5'7", not the tallest fella, but I do have the seat in the low position, and although the bike does look like a big intimidating bike, this standard model, not the Adventure Sport, seems fine. Doesn't feel particularly top heavy getting on or off, although I did notice that it does lean over a long way on the stand. Look at these buttons. Absolutely mesmerised by the buttons. The guy was showing me through the screen here and all the settings and things that we have, and I have to say I'm absolutely bamboozled by it all. It's not the easiest interface. It's definitely going to take some learning if you take this one on. So I'm setting off in tour mode. There are so many combinations of modes and settings that you can have on this bike. You can adjust engine braking and traction control and power modes, and honestly there's everything. This bike connects up to your phone, so it has Apple Play. However, an odd quirk, it does seem that you need to plug your phone into the USB in order to get the Apple Play to work on the screen. Now that kind of seems to me like it defeats the object, because surely if I need to do that I now need to mount my phone on the handlebars or something, in which case it's there anyway. I don't need that, so that's a bit of an odd thing. Oops, that's the horn. See what I mean about the buttons. I wanted to try to find a nice main road with this one, because I want to see what the wind deflection's like. It doesn't appear to have a very big screen, but it does have a nice big tank, and your knees and legs and everything are well protected. But I do plan to do long journeys, and so some nice wind protection at motorway speeds is quite important. So this bike is not fitted with a quick shifter as standard. It's something you have to buy. It's about a £300 extra, as is the heated grips. Despite all the buttons and functions, no heated grips. What are you thinking there, Honda? So as you'd expect from the CRF 1100 Africa Twin, there is plenty of power, just short of 1100 cc's with this one. So power not an issue at all. I believe it is something like 100 horsepower and just above or just under 100 torques, very close. The Africa Twin feels like it has far more power than the specs say, easily and effortlessly getting to 70 miles an hour in 4th gear and feeling very smooth. Settling down in 6th gear to cruise along at motorway speeds feels very comfortable, and I can see why it's such a popular touring bike. With a fuel tank carrying just short of 20 litres and online claims of nearly 60 miles a gallon, when ridden gently the big twin is surprisingly economical. The seat is large and comfortable with plenty of room to move around, and it's got 2 height settings. The bike feels like you could set cruise control and travel in comfort all day. If you're a fan of tech on a bike, then the Africa Twin has aplenty, with multiple configurations of riding modes including Tour, Urban, Gravel, Off-Road and 2 user modes set as you please. You can ride the Africa Twin exactly as you like. Switchable and varying degrees of traction control, Engine braking and wheelie control provide literally hundreds of combinations for you to try. Built-in Apple CarPlay can be controlled via your phone, along with your music and calls using your connected headset of choice. If you like button bashing, the Africa Twin is for you. Okay, so a quick look at the Honda Africa Twin at CRF 1100. This is a used one they had available, so I was lucky enough to be able to take this one out and try it out, see if it suits me. So we can see we got a nice big off-road spoked wheels. Loving the matte black in colour. This is the standard version, it's not the DCT. You do have the big beefy front forks, fully adjustable suspension, however it is not electronic. But look at that front end, I think this bike just looks great. Okay, so back on the Africa Twin, CRF 1100. We'll try out the urban mode now. So we can report, hello, another Africa Twin. So on the motorway and faster roads, very good. The Africa Twin behaves very well indeed. Did really enjoy that ride along the main road. Motorway speeds, fantastic. So let's see how its handling is on these nice Devon A roads. Gear change is very smooth. It doesn't have the quick shifter yet, but you can fit it for about £300. It's a lovely engine note. The exhaust, it's just a standard exhaust, but it does sound nice. These parallel twins are great engines, and you know, it's well tested, and it's a Honda, so you know that you're going to get reliability. And the customer service and everything is there as well. You're not going to have too many problems getting parts or anything like that. So I would be looking to buy the Africa Twin not for any kind of off-roading really. For me it's far too big, you know, a gravel track or something like that, fine, but you know, I'm looking for an upright, comfortable tourer with plenty enough power that isn't too big and heavy. So let me know if you've been using yours for touring. You know, have you done any massive mileage days? What's that like? You know, has anybody out there done 400 or 500 miles in a day doing motorways on these? You know, how have you found that experience? Let me know on that one, I'd appreciate that. Looking for the indicators once more, found the horn again. So I found myself in some Devon country lanes now. I think I might have taken myself a wrong turn there. Maybe desperately trying to figure out how easy it is to wire the Apple Play up in a minute for the sat-nav. I'm sure I'll find my way. So at slower speeds through these country lanes, bike feels very nice, very balanced. Urban mode, the throttle feels just a little snatchy, so I'll go back to the tour mode there. Oh, that's better. Tour mode seems to be my preferred mode on this one, I think, which makes sense. It is a tourer that I'm looking for. It's interesting how these adventure bikes are marketed when you watch all the videos online with the professional riders, you know, flying over sand dunes and doing all kinds of crazy things, and yet most of us are buying these just for the comfort that they offer and you know, the long distance capabilities. That's certainly why I'm looking at them. There are sports tourer motorcycles available, of course, but for me, I like the sit up and beg position. You know, I want to be upright and nice, comfortable, arms out straight. Lovely Devon village, but no idea where I am. They say when you're a motorcyclist you're never lost. You've just not been this way before. I have to say, for such a, when looking at the bike, it does feel like quite a big intimidating bike, but riding it, I feel very confident on this bike. No problem at all. Handles very well. Suspension's very plush. Hasn't been set up for me, but it feels absolutely fine. Okay, looks like we'll be going this way. So a nice gravelly country lane here. And the bike's handling superbly, no problem at all. Good news, just picked up a sign for Exeter, so that's good. I'm heading in the right direction at least. I would try to stop and work out the sat nav and stuff, but you know, these buttons are so intimidating here. I think you'd have to spend a great deal of time looking, you know, through manuals and trying to figure out how it all works, to be honest. That's fine. When you bought the bike, you own the bike, you're going to spend time with it, but it's probably not the best interface I've seen. I mean, you know, a lot of bikes, if you get on any Triumph or any BMW, you know what you're doing. It's, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. So a bit of a downside there for the Africa Twin for me. The electronics package perhaps not quite as user-friendly as it could be. So price-wise with this one, you can pick these up now used. So this one, for an example, has 9,500 miles on it and is a 2021, I believe. I'll check that in a bit. But yeah, for, you know, 2020, 2021 sort of age, 9 to 10,000 miles, you can pick these up for about 10 grand, which isn't too bad at all. If you're lucky, you can find one with some panniers and stuff on it. And this one does come with a top box, which is, you know, that's a pretty fair price, I think. The new Adventure Sports one is about 14 grand, I believe. Service intervals on this bike, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're about every 6,000 miles. And I know from a friend who has one of these that if you fit all the crash bars around the bike, you do need to remove all of that every time in order to service the bike. So that does add an hour or two of labour time, so that's worth considering. Brakes are excellent on this bike. I know I've said it a couple of times, but I feel like this will stop you on a dime when you need it to. It doesn't feel panicked either, it just does. It could turn out I'm a big fan of the Africa Twin. Could this be the perfect do-it-all? Certainly feels like there's plenty enough go in it and handling capabilities to have fun. It feels safe and reassuring. You could definitely go touring on this, no problem at all, very comfortable. Able to carry the panniers without all the scaffolding. Able to fit the toys, the quick shifter, that sort of thing. Overall, I'm very impressed with the Africa Twin. Well, as I get close now to returning the bike back to Bridge Motorcycles, the Honda dealership there, they have a whole building there for Honda. So any of the Honda motorcycles you're interested in, Bridge Motorcycles and Exeter is a fantastic place to go to. Go and have a look, you know, sit on the bikes, try them out. You know, there's plenty available for demo here, and they're very forthcoming and very helpful. Only too keen to show you around the bikes. Let you have a good look at it. If you're interested, take it out. It's the only real way to know if a bike is for you, is to take it for a spin and, you know, spend an hour on it, find its pros and cons. But for me, to be fair, the only cons I can find with this bike is the complicated switchery. Other than that, I love it. Great machine. I love that I can put my feet flat on the floor. The seat is quite thin toward the front, and I think that's what's enabling me to get my feet flat on the floor. I mean, I have a much smaller bike, the KTM, and although that bike is lower in seat height, the seat is wider and the foot pegs get in the way of you putting your feet straight down. No such issues here. Really enjoyed my ride on this bike. This one is probably up there in my top 3 of the adventure bike segment, I think. Really good bike. Here we are back now at Honda. If you've enjoyed the ride review of the CRF 1100, give us a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have one and how you've got on with it, any pros and cons you have with yours, and we'll see you on the road again next time.